Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to look at your phone. The phone in your hand right now. The GPS that tells you where you are exactly. The YouTube recommendation that promoted this video. The ChatGPT or such AI models answer you get. Every single one of these things runs on a chip made by this one company. And I can say that probably you may have never heard about this company in your life. It is not Apple, it is not Google, it is not Microsoft, it is NVIDIA.
This is the clear winner of every winner in the world of artificial intelligence.
What an amazing year.
His company powers everything from OpenAI, Google's programs.
You are the stars. This is a celebration of your science, of your work, and your innovations.
And here is what that makes the story absolutely insane. This company, the one powering every AI, artificial intelligence on this planet, it was on the cusp of bankruptcy. It was having just 30 days of cash remaining.
At the time that we started the company in 1993, we were the only consumer 3D graphics company ever created.
And to put that in even worse way, out of 250,000 products that they sold, they literally got 249,000 products back. That means only 1,000 products were accepted by customers. Ladies and gentlemen, today this same company is worth $4.8 trillion, more than GDP of almost 180 plus countries on the planet.
Today, NVIDIA is the belle of the ball. Today's gain was yet another record high.
A new milestone in the world of artificial intelligence.
NVIDIA became the first company to hit a market value of
$4 trillion market cap.
ChatGPT has started a very intense conversation.
He thinks it's the most revolutionary thing since the iPhone.
The question I want you to sit for the next 8 minutes in this video is, how is this NVIDIA's empire, just 30 days away from bankruptcy, become a $5 trillion empire?
In the world of artificial intelligence.
Most valuable tech company?
At NVIDIA.
And before we start, we are playing a game today. So ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned in the video. 3 questions are inside this video. I'm going to ask you right on camera, and I will give you 5 seconds for each question. Try to answer them. And out of that 3 questions, I hope 3 out of 3 is literally not possible. If you get it, just put it down in the comments. I will be very happy to see that. The year is 1993. Jensen Huang is 30 years old. He believes the future of computing is completely visual.
At the time, the PC revolution was just starting.
All the major tech companies would be racing to the pinnacle of the PC market.
From Microsoft software and faster processors to 3D graphics and modern gaming. A storm that would change how we work, play, and live.
He didn't believe in spreadsheets, but he believed on one thing, and that was video games.
Video games. Now, as soon as video games were introduced, games went from flat pixels to 3D worlds. This is where the world fell in love with games like Doom and Quake.
You may think, and how does a game a future revolution? Well, Jensen Huang had a theory. He realized to run a single video game, the chip needs to do at least 1 trillion calculations every passing second.
Billions of calculations every single second to make you play a simple game. For example, when you play Call of Duty, you are sprinting through a battlefield while the bullets are flying and explosions are everywhere. The lighting changes as you move from a dark hallway all the way into a sunlight. And while this happens, shadows shift and smoke reacts to gunfire.
And Jensen even thought, if you could believe a chip that could power games and that could run games easily, He literally said everything can be run on that chip. He said rocket science, pharmacy, engineering, everything can be powered with that one chip. And that one idea changed how Jensen thought apart from the world. And that is the reason he started a company called NVIDIA. And what happened next is literally shocking. Stay with me, guys. Next happened the first product of NVIDIA. And that decision nearly killed them. Okay, the first question pops in here. I hope many of the people can get wrong. Jensen is building NVIDIA's very first chip. He needs a partner, a very big one. A massive Japanese gaming giant agrees to bundle NVIDIA's chip with their own product. Options: A. Nintendo, B. Sony, C. Sega. 5 seconds, think very carefully. And probably you have tripped in this one. The answer is option C, Sega. Don't get comfortable if you got this question correct. Question 2 is coming for you. And this question separates people who think about business rather than all others think. So stay with me. So Sega partnered with NVIDIA. NVIDIA's first chip rolled out. It was named NV1.
The NV1 chip that was released in November 1995, Sound Blaster compatible audio systems, and 15-pin joystick ports. To top it off, it would be compatible with the Sega Saturn console that was about to hit the market. The stars were aligned for it.
It was supposed to be very perfect, but something turned out bad to NVIDIA. And then Microsoft launched DirectX. Overnight, the chip that NVIDIA produced was useless. 249,000 chips were returned out of 250,000. It was literally a serious concerning question for NVIDIA.
One example of this was Microsoft's DirectX.
It's the most powerful and efficient graphics API.
Microsoft's DirectX APIs only supported triangle primitives.
And this is when Jensen did something that any rational person couldn't even think of. Question 2. What do you think Jensen did? Anytime before you send out your chipset for manufacturing, option A is you will test it out for almost 6 months and then send it out for manufacturing. Option B, you will never test it and just send it for manufacturing. Option C, you test it for almost 1 week and sent it out directly for manufacturing. Jensen just sent out his chips to manufacture without testing. And the last question might be almost 95% of the people watching this episode may go wrong. He gathered his remaining engineers and he said only one statement. We are going to build a brand new chip. We are going to follow DirectX and we are going to do it in a record time. And then madness happened. There is one unbreakable rule in this chipset industry. Always test before you manufacture. Because if one connection is wrong, the entire chipset goes into the vein. The entire chipset fails. And what did Jensen do? Jensen, without testing this chipset, he sent it directly to manufacturing. Then what happened? He didn't test it. He simulated it. But one rule was already broken. That was an unbreakable rule in the chipset market. For 8 weeks, nobody could sleep in NVIDIA. Every single day, there was only one question popping out of every engineer and Jensen Huang. Did we commit a mistake? And then the chips arrived. They loaded up and they powered it on. And ladies and gentlemen, for God's grace, it worked absolutely fine. This chipset was called Riva 128.
NVIDIA designed its first high-performance graphics chip in 1997.
The Riva 128, which stands for Real-Time Interactive Video and Animation Accelerator, was a pretty impressive GPU.
Riva 128 is the world's first fully accelerated, hardware-accelerated pipeline for rendering 3D.
And once the reviewers used Riva 128, they loved it so much that they screamed to the world that NVIDIA had built something extraordinary.
And within 4 months, staggeringly, NVIDIA has shipped 1 million of these products across the globe. But this didn't make $4.8 trillion for NVIDIA. Then what did? He invested all the profits which NVIDIA got in one segment. And that segment didn't had any market yet. It was called CUDA, a software platform that let any scientist, any engineer, any developer use NVIDIA chips for anything that they wanted. Literally anyone on the planet could use CUDA structure to power with NVIDIA's chipsets. And sadly, this was a complete blunder. Straight 6 long years, CUDA went shut. Not even a single one was using it. And then September 30th, 2012 happened. In a quiet lab at the University of Toronto, 3 researchers, even one among them was the godfather of AI. He was named Geoffrey Hinton. These all scientists built out something that nobody ever thought, and it was named AlexNet. This is getting too much of science, but stay with me because this is the main topic and I will explain it to you very simple. And this AlexNet, which computed artificial intelligence, was not running on NASA supercomputers, it was not running on Microsoft chips, but it was running on NVIDIA's CUDA. It obliterated the entire competition out there. How many years did it take to win? Option A, 2 years. Option B, 6 years. Option C, 8 years. Answer is option B, 6 years. And nobody was even willing to try out this CUDA structure. So imagine if you are in the place of Jensen Huang, or any one of us being in the place of Jensen Huang. Will you keep a product idle for 6 years? If I would say completely, let's put this into the trash bin. And Jensen was a guy who thought, I am way ahead of what the world thinks. If you get 3 out of 3, Jensen Huang will be proud of you. If you get 2 out of 3, you understood more than the most. And if you get 1 out of 3, you learned something valuable from this case study. So smash that like button because you learned something valuable from this. But shockingly, guys, I would say this. Google, Tesla, OpenAI, Perplexity, Anthropic, and many others saw what Jensen Huang saw 6 years ago. So I can say Jensen Huang predicted the future, then all others followed him. And that is the reason why artificial intelligence is literally impossible without NVIDIA. So before any time waste, let's jump in directly into the takeaways what we can get from this world-class case study of NVIDIA. Takeaway number 1. The best opportunities look stupid at first when they start. If you're a person, many people comment on you that you're working on a piece of project that nobody is going to look at. My dear friends, then you are in the right place. You are in the place of Jensen Huang, who was in 2012. He saw a right moment before the world saw. He hopped in at a right moment. In 2006, he imagined of artificial intelligence and gaming on his own chips. And today that is happening. He made the biggest revolution, RTX 5090, RTX 5080, RTX 4090 and many others. The world-class GPUs are now powered by NVIDIA. The gaming industry is literally booming out from NVIDIA itself. So don't stop on your project. Let the world call what they want. They will call you, you are stupid. You are working on a stupid project that nobody is going to look at. My dear friends, I say, go on. Because you are good at, you believe in yourself, and that will cherish you. And that can make you a person like Jensen Huang. Takeaway number 2. Invest in the future when the present doesn't reward you. Jensen built CUDA in 2006. But he thought, one day this is going to come into the work for sure and the world is going to be behind me. And that is what happened in 2012. He didn't get the reward when he immediately created CUDA. It took 6 long years for him to get the reward for what he is working off. My dear friends, invest in future when the world and the vicinity around you doesn't reward you in the present. Go, keep on working. The world calls you, you are a stupid. Keep on working. The world says you're going to cherish. Keep on working. The world scolds you. Keep on working. The only suggestion that the world's topmost leaders give you is keep working. Lesson number 3. Don't just build a product. Build a trap. Not a trap to your customers, but a trap for your competitors. CUDA logged in 4 million developers, 19,000 startups, and 90% of the AI labs. Switching away from NVIDIA means building the entire system what NVIDIA built from ground up. And that is not possible, and everybody today is relying on NVIDIA. The real motto of NVIDIA was never the chipset. It was the ecosystem that they wanted to create, and they did it. If you follow our channel from almost when it was created, I have already mentioned in 2 to 3 episodes that build a ecosystem, build a ecosystem, build a ecosystem. And even today's world-class case study of NVIDIA also says build an ecosystem. If you played the game, drop the score in the comments. I will see how many of you people got out of out, or 2 out of 3, or 1 out of 3. If you got 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3, don't think I got this much. it is the chance that you learned something valuable from this case study. And that is already a like to me. If you learned something valuable from this case study, smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel to see more such world-class case studies in this channel in the near future. So that's it from my side for today, guys. Meet you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.